What is up, people? During this series, you're gonna finally get the chance to see what good player translates into numbers. I have gathered some of the best players I know from my server Deyla, and they have taken 3 minutes out of their super busy PvP schedule to do a DPS test on the dummy in order to show you what it means to play your character to its fullest and what numbers you can actually achieve by doing so. The only relevant endgame DPS parse you can possibly do is in Vanguard if you're an Asmodian, or Signia if you're an Ilios. Any dummy there will do the trick and get you as close as possible to the reality of current 5.0.5 end game. Yeah, doesn't even matter if you do PvP all day or you do PvE or you do both. Practicing on a dummy is going to help you tremendously with both of these things, because you can practice anything from jump shots, slide shots, animation cancelling, weapon combos, or just for PvE simple DPS 3-minute DPS parses that will show your numbers and that you can improve upon, and get as close as possible to these people that you're gonna see in the videos. Yeah, today is time for you to see what a good sorcerer can push out in terms of numbers. I'm here with Setys. You can obviously find him on Deyla server for any questions that you might have about what he did in this parse. In general, sorcerers, rotations, skills, new things, etc. He's a nice guy, he's a good player. You're gonna see at the end of the parse why. Not surprised at all. Obviously, sorcerers were, are, and always will be in the top 3 DPSs in AION. In general, mage classes are in the top 3 DPSs in all the other MMORPGs, so definitely not a surprise. I would have been surprised if he would do really bad, but yeah, doing really good damage as a sorcerer, not a surprise at all. Now, I have to say this, sorcerer is, if you want to take full advantage of your sorcerer in terms of PvE DPS, you have to be in melee range because of a skill called Freezing Wind. It's part of the meta these days. You have to use it because it's actually a big chunk of your total DPS. So being melee with a clothy, you might start being afraid of what's gonna happen to you. Don't be very afraid, just be partially afraid. Most of the AION dungeons allow you to be melee even as a caster. Nothing extremely bad is gonna happen to you as long as you have a strong healer, as long as you have a strong gear yourself. Obviously, you're stronger you're more survivable as a sorcerer in tight situations than you are, for example, as a ranger, right? As a ranger, you can only have so much, defensive skills. As a sorcerer, you have more, and you are definitely more survivable, for example, than a ranger. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't be afraid of standing close as long as you know what you're doing. At the end, as I say in all of these videos, by the way, you can check all of the other classes. I'm gonna put a link in the description below to the playlist that contains DPS tests with all of the other classes. So all of you, depending on what class you play, you can get a very clear idea of what number you should be at a specific level. Yeah, if you're same level as Setys, if you think you have good gear, if you think you do good on your sorcerer and you cannot pull out this number on this particular dummy, by the way, in Vanguard, then you have some work to do. Yeah, now I said sorcerers are more survivable than rangers, for example. That's true. Sorcerers are a very bursty DPS class. The burstiest? Is that a thing? Anyway, sorcerers can pull out the biggest burst of DPS in game at this moment. In PvE, they have also a sustainable DPS. These days, they don't necessarily suffer from mana anymore, so that's a positive thing as well. Are wanted and needed, not necessarily needed, but wanted in every PvE group. So there's nothing to worry about if you're choosing a sorcerer, as long as you're into the caster type and you don't mind being a clothy. Yeah, lots of CC for PvP, lots of burst for PvP as well. So yeah, back flips, front flips, all sorts of flips. So you have survivability in PvP as well, on top of having super good survivability in PvE. Yeah, It's really nice with the Earth transformation as well. Sorcerer's got another very good survivability skill. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about surviving nor doing deeps in both PvE and PvP as a sorcerer, as long as you enjoy it. Yeah. Now let me just quickly show you the detailed version of things. We're gonna pause it right here. You can see everything here. All of the skills that he used, how many times he used them. His gear, you could have checked it at the beginning of the video on the overlay. Tanking on a sorcerer, not really gonna happen in all the dungeons. If you're into tanking as a sorcerer, maybe it's something that you like to do. Upcoming next in the same series is are you a good cleric? And I think the cleric video is gonna be the last one. Because I do not know any good gunners on Deyla, don't know any good Aether techs, don't know any Aether techs in general. So yeah, until my next video guys, lots of love, enjoy your game and see you soon.